Nile Lawerence-Stample. How are you, big guy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you doing, Rick?
Good. Is there been enough rain on your lawn?
There's been enough rain. We're about ready for the rain to go in.
Yeah.
So it's been a ton.
We'll talk to your business here in a minute, but how does that affect things as far as power washing and all that with nonstop rain?
It gets a little bit hairy in terms of scheduling, but we communicate really well with our customers just to make sure that we're staying on top of it, just in case we need to reschedule or move things around. But we're flexible.
We got a ton of gamblers who listen to this program.
Yeah.
Is Florida State going to win this weekend?
We better win this weekend. That's going to be the better answer. We better win this weekend.
Yeah,
it's going to be very important.
Now, Lawerence-Stample, of course, played defensive line for the Florida State Seminoles and was part of that national championship team in 2013. Also played against the Cleveland Browns, or played for the Cleveland Browns, who are coming into town here to play the Jaguars on Sunday. All right, let's start with the bad and get to the good. You and I have had several conversations this year about Jalen Lucas, a guy that we thought that they were going to try to find a way to get him the ball any way possible, also a punt and kick returner. It was announced yesterday he's gone for the year.
Yeah, that was a big blow for the Seminole Nation, and it sucked. It was a kind of deflating feeling just because obviously the season hasn't been going all that great as it is, and being able to utilize him was going to be something that we were hoping that was going to spark. But I think the plus to that is that we hopefully may find somebody else to be able to kind of run those jet sweeps and some of those punt returns that may be more explosive, or at least something that can maybe even give a leader a little bit more of an edge to help kind of build this team up.
Is it too early to find out who can do it, who can't do it, who's giving you 100%, who's not giving you 100%, with the understanding the way that coaching has changed? I mean, it feels like back in your day, Jimbo would say, you're not doing it, get the heck out of there. Again, we talk about how today's athletes are treated differently than back when you played. What's your understanding with that coming up this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend, I've been saying this for a while. I think Memphis is going to be our best opportunity in order to do that. So you have on one side, you have these leaders that are in there. Well, hopefully leaders. You have our starters that are in there, and we're not seeing a ton of production. So I think this week going against Memphis, being a great team, being a very stout team, I think it will be a great opportunity to be able to get some young guys in there, to be able to mix things up, be aggressive when it comes to swapping our guys out, even no matter what the play, no matter what time it is, being able to rotate a few guys in there to see if they're ready to step up for the opportunity, and see if we can get a spark somewhere. But I think Memphis, being a smaller division but a very good team, will be an awesome opportunity to do that.
When you lose, coaches and fans think differently. Right now, the fans are saying, put in Brock Glenn. I happen to think that Luke Kromenhoek, I remember when we watched him practice for 2 days, most of your focus was on the defense. I thought Kromenhoek threw the ball better than the other two Florida State quarterbacks and is eventually going to be the guy. Right now, Florida State fans are saying, play Brock Glenn. Mike Norvell's got to be saying, Nile, our best chance to win in 4 days is with DJ Uiagalelei.
Yeah, DJ. And so he's gonna. I have no clue who he's gonna start this game with, and that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see what Norvell is going to cook up in order to figure out who is going to help us continue out this season. And that's what we're going to see during this Memphis game. And that's what I'm hoping to see during this Memphis game. But if we're able to be aggressive, we can get all three of our quarterbacks in there in order to see who is going to step up, who can potentially earn more reps, and who can be a spark for the rest of our offense, and who's going to give the energy that we need. Because realistically, you don't need someone that's going to throw it, sling it 60, 70, 80 yards. You need someone that can manage a game, someone that can help bring the energy, someone who can really manage the throws and make the right decisions during that opportunity that they have.
Now, Lawerence-Stample, our guest, talking Florida State football. Nile, of course, played his ball at Florida State. The Noles did receive some good news this week. Finally, the return of Hakeem Williams, arguably the most decorated member of the Florida State wide receiving corps. He struggled to stay on the field as a freshman. He's missed the first 2 games this year with an injury as well.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity for him to come in. I really don't want to see him play too much. Hopefully they can get him on certain plays. I think it would be great, especially to be able to pair him with another quarterback, one of our backup options as well as with DJ. But let's kind of work him in so that way he's not getting too overworked and being able to work himself in and be able to execute when it comes to the actual live play. He hasn't been able to play. I don't want to do too much too early with him.
I've asked guys who have played this game forever. I think the biggest difference, in my opinion, between college football and pro football is in the NFL, you're ready for your opponent every week. And case in point, for the most part, the point spread is around 3 points or less. In the NFL, even though these guys get up early, in college football, even though they get up early and work out 350 some odd days a year, there are opponents that they don't get up for. Look at Northern Alabama last year, man. I mean, they're down, 10-0, 13-0. Jordan Travis ends up getting hurt. When you look at this schedule, Memphis didn't stick out. This would set up as one of those games. All right, maybe they show up and they're struggling in the first quarter. That can't happen coming up on Saturday. I mean, how much do you believe that their mindset will change in this game because they haven't won yet?
I think, one, we haven't won yet, so that's going to be a huge motivating factor. But two, regardless of the leadership or regardless of what's going on in the field, a lot of these players, a majority of these players really buy in and really love Norvell. With them knowing that and knowing that Norvell, this is the last school that Norvell was at, and he cannot have his old team come in and beat us, I think that is going to be a chip on their shoulder. They're going to want to play and play hard for Norvell, and I think that that's another opportunity for us to see that this game should not be overlooked by our team.
Jeremy Pruitt was an Alabama defensive coach, defensive backs coach, came over and worked with you guys for the 1 year that you won the national championship, then went to Georgia. And what I was told with those 2 years is there were different types of players, different talent at Georgia compared to what he had with you and others at Florida State. What was great about Jeremy Pruitt was in-game adjustments. Adam Fuller, BC ran the ball 50-some-odd times, and for the most part, Florida State stayed with the 4-2-5. Is it crazy to think that you run a good enough system that you can't make changes? And if so, what are your thoughts on that? Because why not put an extra defensive lineman in or an extra linebacker in against a team that's going to run the football right down your throat?
Yeah, it's something that's really, really hard to watch and hard to understand that we're not going to make an adjustment so that way we're not getting killed on both sides because they were able to throw the ball as well. So it's like if we can't at least stop the run, if we can't stop the pass, let's at least stop the run. Let's get an extra guy on the line. Let's be able to fill and clog up every single gap possible. And we just didn't see that adjustment. So I think going forward, that's something that is going to be really crucial for us to see. And if that's not shown here very soon, it's really not going to be up for discussion. It's going to be an issue that's going to go forward, and it's going to have to be addressed one way or another.
What are they dealing with right now? You didn't deal with a lot of losing streaks when you were a member of the Florida State Seminoles. They were highly touted, and they got a bye here after losing 2 straight games. What are they dealing with right now?
They're dealing with a lot of real, just questionable situations when it comes to job security, when it comes to who is going to start this game, who is really being productive. And unfortunately, a few guys are going to get singled out because some players are playing well. Some players are doing their job, and it's showing on film that they're doing their job. And those players are having to kind of make up for other players' situations as well. So you're dealing with a little bit of bickering. You're dealing with a little bit of questionable things, but it seems like they're trying to hone it in. You've seen a few guys talk on social media that really it's all they need is them, and they have their room. So I hope that is a consensus with all the guys, but at the end of the day, it is a very, very questionable situation for their integrity.
In 1989, I know you don't remember this. When were you born, by the way? 1989.
I was number 92.
Okay. I mean, I was here as a junior, and it was one of the hottest days ever in this city. Brett Favre beat Florida State on opening day right here in Jacksonville, southern Mississippi. And a week later, Terry Allen went into Tallahassee with Clemson and ran for like 160 yards. Back in those days, the only team that won at Florida State was Miami. No one else did. Florida State was 0-2. They flipped the switch, man. They beat LSU. They beat Reggie Slack in Auburn. They beat Miami. They beat Florida. If there was a playoff then, Florida State would have been the national champion in 1989. What can a win do Saturday? Is it crazy for me to say that they can flip a switch. The week after, it's been announced today, it's California at Florida State beginning at 7 o'clock a week from Saturday. I mean, Notre Dame just lost. Florida's got issues. Miami right now looks absolutely unbeatable. But my point is, can they get this thing rolling simply by just getting a win on Saturday?
Yeah, I wouldn't typically say so if it wasn't the type of team that we're playing. Obviously, we needed to have a smaller conference team to come in, just like we always do. But I think Memphis being Memphis is what the opportunity where the opportunity lies. If we can be the team that we can truly be and have some of these players show up, and we show up and show out when it comes on Saturday, I think that team being as good as it is can give our guys a confidence to be able to push over to the next team. Because if it wasn't, then it was, what does this really show? It would have been really a lose-lose situation. But with Memphis playing well, they're 2-0 right now, and they played really strong against Troy. I think that if we can pull it together, there is a small opportunity, but there's 1,000% opportunity there for our guys to really relish in that moment, and the country will relish in that moment if we can actually get this win and have a secured, solid win.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here. Thanks so much for checking out 1010XL Seminoles page. If you're looking for more college football content, you can head over to the Gators page, or if you want some professional football content, check out our 1010XL Jaguars page.